Hello, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching. Welcome back to FC Lviv, Lviv and Let Die. We are at the beginning of a new season. It doesn't take very long, but it's here again. We are about to play the Super Cup final against Kryvbas, who won the league last year. We won the cup. And then 2 or 3 days later, we will play Shakhtar Donetsk in the first league game of the season. We do have some transfers to talk about, though, and we can discuss a few other things. For example, we are in the 4th qualifying round of the Europa League, which means we just have to play the last one double-leg affair before we qualify into the Europa League. I think with the squad we have this year, we should be able to make a decent tilt at the title there, but we'll see. For now, though, we have sold some players, some old favourites, some new favourites. We brought in some new players who will hopefully replace those players. I also did a little bit of soul searching and decided that we already had probably too many players in a few positions, and in the best interest of actually making 1 or 2 of them actually progress, I've sold on a few other players. So the first one of those players, Kwadwo Twumasi, has joined Ilichevets. Still a decent defender, if slowly declining physically. He joined us for 400k. We sold him for 500k, which is not bad, and he was a very good servant for the club over the years. And yeah, just a nice guy. I like him. He did well. He won a bunch of stuff for us. He won our first league title, I think, probably. No, he can't have done. But he got his first international cap, so well done him. Good. We then sold Brinchevich for free. Another young player, Petr Sedlacek, went for a free. Alexis Carvacho is one of those players I was talking about, who I was trying to free up space for other players. Carvacho actually didn't play very much last season. He kept getting injured. He does play well when he was playing for us, as you can see, but he wasn't progressing quite as much as I wanted him to. And as I said, he spent, I think, the entirety of the second half of last season out injured, so I thought, well, why not get rid of him and let Ronnie Vera have a game? So he's been sold to Dukla Prague with the excellent badge for £2 million, a profit of £2 million, which is good. We then sold Eddie Chang, the boy, the man, the Eddie of the Changs. He's really good and I like him a lot, but right back's another position where we have quite a few players. So sold Eddie Chang for £7.5 million to Benfica. So off he goes. He will have fun there, I'm sure. He's a good player. He was limited in his appearances for us, and that is because we had so many players in that position. That's another example of what I'm talking about, where we had too many players. Speaking of, Jimmy Rogers has gone after 1 season, 23 years of age, an excellent player. Arguably didn't need to sell him, but again, I didn't want to step in the way of players who were coming through, because we still have Kamara, and I've signed another one. So I thought, why not get the 16 million we can from him? He went to Dortmund. He nearly went for slightly more money to Inter Milan, but there was, I think, a glitch. I had accepted a £17.5 million bid from Inter, and then I think the day afterwards the seasons changed, so it went from last season to this season, and I think something to do with that cancelled their bid because it was no longer in the bid history. So I offered him out again, and Dortmund came in and took him away from us. Jimmy Rogers there, a good player. Signed him on. Did we sign him for free? Signed him for free, £16 million the year afterwards. Not bad at all. Thank you, Jimmy. Good game. And then a couple of youngsters. Igor Ondrejka, for example, a player who 2 or 3 years ago might have been good enough to play in the first team, but no longer, so we made a little bit of money off of him. He played okay for Donetsk on loan last season, but he has gone now to Banska Bystrica, which is back in Slovakia, so well done him. Have fun, sir, have fun. St. Bernard has gone off to Chonomorets. Alexander Vinko, another player who you won't really remember, has gone to Alania for 150k. And Osvaldo Servin, who I actually did have some high hopes for when we signed him initially. I think he's gone to Jablonec. So we made money on all of those players, except for, probably these 2 we maybe didn't. We made money on everyone else, so that's good, making a total of £27 million saved or received. We then brought in a few players here. I'm not sure if I'm really that bothered by half of these guys. Like this guy, I'm pretty sure I would have signed him then. He just hasn't improved at all in his time in Paraguay. I've put him in the under 18s, but I don't see that we're going to ever play him, we'll probably sell him for 150k in a year or two's time. Ivan Marino, he's actually a decent young striker. I'm trying to, with players like this guy now, trying to send him on loan with the intention of, maybe we can say like, let's just get him out on loan, with the intention of getting them some competitive games, because it's clear that the under-21 league here is not good. Like some of our players play all the games, score 50 goals and don't improve at all. So players like him, he's a decent young player, and at 18 I think he's got the opportunity to become a player good enough for our league. It's whether or not he actually will meet that. We're improving our youth facilities and our training facilities, so hopefully soon those facilities will be better, but for now we can't promise him that. Another player who I think I must have brought in when he looked good as a 16-year-old, he's not developed, so we've probably wasted that 650k. I don't know if we'll make any money off of him at all, but you never know, he might improve and get decent enough. Then there's Ludek Holicek. He's another player very similar to your man there from before. Send him out on loan as well. Maybe we can get him some game time, which will keep us having improvement on the player. Then there was Islam Kasyanov, who has... Oh, what? I thought I signed him. Why is he... what? But why is he in our team then? Right, well anyway, I thought... Hang on, can I offer him out? Okay, so I thought I had signed him. That's a guy as well that was around the same time as the Jimmy Rogers deal, so maybe something happened in the game. But anyway, he's gone apparently. I'd signed him with the intention of him just being one of the like a young Ukrainian player to play in the cup games, but doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Anyway, and then there was the guy that I absolutely flat out refused to sign last season, Zion Ashkenazi, the Israeli international, signed for £1.9 million from Bnei Yehuda. He's come in for that right back slot to challenge Kamara. He can also play left back, but I mean he's right footed, so I don't know how that would actually work. But anyway, another option there at the back, good. Then we've got Nicola Ars, again a player who, I mean, £1.3 million. I think I must have signed him here. He looked really good. He's clearly not going to be any good now. He's supposed to get better, but he's not going to be good enough, and we're not going to make the money back on him. But it can't always be that case. Ibrahim Shakhtar is another player I've signed. He's a left winger who will go into the midfield. He'll go straight into he's in the first team. He will be like the kind of backup left mid now that we've sold Tuimasi, who wasn't even very good at left mid anyway. So hopefully he can develop a little bit. He'll get plenty of game time, because I think Tuimasi played at least 20 games last season in rotation with Johnson, so that will be the same for him. Another one, Bekir Kaba, a Dutch midfielder. He is training, I think he's training on his passing, yes he is. And he's in the first team as well. I think he really needs to go out on loan. Let's see if we can do that. But just another option in midfield, hopefully one we can bring through, but possibly not. We'll see. It's again, with the youth setup here, it's a little bit more hit and miss than it was with Swindon or even with Śląsk, where we seemed to be able to develop players pretty well. Here it doesn't seem to happen so easily. We'll see what we can do about improving that. And then Roman Hinek came in for 50k from Slavia. He is quick, and hopefully he will get better at the technical things. What's his actual problem? He's bad at passing. He's supposed to be an attacking midfielder. Let's give him some passing. But at least I only signed him for 50k, so hopefully we can... Oh, did they get relegated? Oh no, they got promoted. Hopefully we can get some improved money back from him, even if he doesn't ever play for us. So yeah, and we don't know our Europa League opponents yet. We won't play them until around here, I don't think. And I probably, depending on who it is we draw, I probably won't record that tie, but we'll see. Anyway, for now, let's play Kryvbas in the Super Cup final. I think we've won the Super Cup now for 4 years in a row, yep. We've already beaten Kryvbas in this game. They must have come runner-up to us that season. Yes, good. Okay, so fine. Going for our 5th in a row. They haven't won it for a little while. We're going to have a billion hang on. Why did I... Who accepted those 2 offers for... Oh, no. Is he's contract? No. What? Alright, stupid. There's something wrong with the game. I think I'm going to have to refresh the game files because there's clearly something going funny here. Because I haven't accepted a bid for him, but there's 2 bids there accepted. So once we're done with this, I'll refresh the game files, and hopefully that will sort things out. Masha's sneezing in the background like a crazy wife who sneezes. Let's see what we can do for players. Let's go with Jornason. Let's put him on instead of Shakhtar because I want to beat these guys. They beat us to the title last season. You will, of course, remember. And I do not intend to allow them to do it again. So we have plenty of defensive options now. This is the, I guess, good, but we still have too many centre-backs. We have 3 centre-backs on the back. Well, 4. And only 1 right-back option. We're going to put Godoy there. Lots of people want to buy Gonzalez. Lots of people want to buy Ruiz Diaz. I might have to submit to one of these because I think, I mean, he's going to be good though. He is already good. He's a bit slow. Gonzalez, similarly good. I like his physicalness. He's 6'3". Maybe we can offer out Ruiz Diaz, see what we can get for him because, oh, hello. Lots of big clubs interested in him. What about that then? Give us 5 mil. You can have him. I'm sure he'll be good. 16. I've sorted out the numbers a bit as well, so our goalkeeper now has number 1 instead of number 23 or whatever he was last year. Kryvbas versus Lviv. Oh, having said that, I've just noticed that we're actually, our first choice goalkeeper is actually injured, so we are actually playing number 23 in goal. But yeah, never mind. I think he injured his wrist or something. Anyway, I don't think, are we making any debuts today? No, we've got basically the same team as last year, which is fine. Gogua is a continuing concern. I couldn't get him to re-sign a deal with us, so I'm wondering if we might have to sell him in January in order to make some money from him, because I do not like the idea of losing a player like him for free. And we have Admiral Herbert, who'll be able to do perfectly well in the second half of the season, no doubt. The other potential suggestion in my brains is that if we're doing well in the Europa League, if we have a decent draw, we could keep him, not sell him and let him go for free, and try and win the league with him, win the Europa League with him, and hope that maybe nobody offers him a contract and we can still offer him a new one before the end of the season. Who knows? Well, I don't know. It's a big. Oh, Kryvbas. I thought that. It's hit the side. They've actually changed their formation. They used to play with that strange triangle, but now for the last few games they've played against us, they've played this weird 4-4-2, strange diamond in the middle, which does seem to mess up our game plan a little bit. In the last game, you'll remember, they started off strongly. We did end up dominating the game. But they play this weird formation. I've never seen it really work on Football Manager. I remember on the Football Manager 2009, I used to play a similar formation with Accrington Stanley, and we got to I think we got to League 1 or League 2 or Championship. But Hermans goes off for a goal kick. Now the sun has come up and is right in my eyes. That's not so good. Donkor hits the ball forward to Rosic. Rosic now with the ability to put the ball in the box. No, Henrad has it and he has missed. I'm going to have to just hang on a second. And the blessed relief of shade. The shades have come down. The blinds have come down. Donkor's terrible touch, but he does manage to recover. Big Mick out to Jornason. Jornason to Gogua. There's been a load of yellow cards. Juric with the ball. Juric is on a decent long contract, which is nice, even though he does have a £10 million release clause. No one's actually come in for that. In fact, weirdly, the game doesn't seem to rate him very highly in terms of money. Loads of clubs are interested in him, but the only rumours that we've had have been that they want to buy him for about £1 million, which is fine. I can continue to bat back £1 million bids. I cannot continue to bat back anything bigger than that, and hopefully I'm keeping an eye on his contract status and whether he'd be interested to sign a new contract. As soon as he's interested, I'll sign a new contract without that release clause in it to try and keep him for longer. Oh, Katarju manages to make a great save. Belanja and Rosic there combining nicely. Just before the half-time, can we get a goal? No. Katarju takes the corner easily. So, got a lot of tired players. Pleased. There's a lot more to come. Okay, Farid Henrad looking pretty tired in midfield. I might have to take him off. Godchalves. Oh, Gogo's been hurt. But no, he's okay. Oh, Rosic nearly takes Boelens there. Arafwai puts the ball back to their goalkeeper, Katarju. And the ball now up to the right to Higaldo. Malinga. Oh no, Hermans. Hermans turns and shoots, but does get nothing. Now then, Gogoa is tired because he's been injured. He's going to come off. We're also going to bring on Ronnie Vera. And I think that will probably do for now. Yeah, because it's only 52 minutes. We'll play those two. New midfield pairing, and then we might have to replace Kamara, who I think is just lacking a little bit in fitness. Maya puts the ball up. Belanga doesn't get there. Belanga. Ballanger, probably. Gogoa, oh, he's not able to get there. We need to make that change, please. Toure's effort goes wide. Now we're surely going to make that change because Gogoa was unable to make a couple of challenges there, which I think he normally would have done. Gogoa's coming off. Vera comes on as well. Okay, Donkor with the ball, puts the ball in the middle. Big Mick, Big Mick, Big Mick. Oh, come on. I think he had a shot there, which he just put straight at the goalkeeper. Strange. Donkor's ball in. Musa Kurt. Oh, it hit the post, that did. Hit the bottom of the post. Unbelievable. 57 minutes gone. We've actually finally made a chance. Kamara has the ball. Kamara plays the ball off him and off the defender and wins a corner for us. It's not been a very fun game, this one. It's been quite a lot of bittiness. Donkor's ball in, and the ball has been forced in. Who scores that? Big Georgian Mick. First goal of the season for him. Yes, please. We are 1-0 up in the Europa League, in the Super Cup final. Delightful. Donkor. Big Mick's header forced through Kataji's hands. It's nice to see. We've got a little bit of confidence back. That's good. Oh, we have another corner. Donkor's ball in. Big Mick again. Big Mick this time is seemingly in an easier position. He was not really jumping with anyone. Should have just headed it down. Seemed like the last one was harder to score. Doesn't matter. Juric now. Belanga puts the ball to Jonasson. Jonasson's ball just kept out by Kartaju. Donkor with the ball now. Admiral Herbert. Oh, strange decision there. Right now then, Kamara is looking pretty tired, so we're going to bring on Zion for his debut. Donkor up front. All those two wingers are both looking pretty tired. They're just going to have to deal with things for now, I'm afraid. Zungu. Krikos. Because we have another... Oh, good save from Maya. We have another big game coming up straight away. The first game of the season against Shakhtar is a big game. We need to put down a marker straight away and hope that we can continue to win everything. Last season we only lost 3 games, or was it 4 in the end? I think we only lost 3, and we lost out on the title. So we need to do better. We also need to draw a few less games. I think we drew 5. Which clearly in the grand scheme of things is too many games. I think if we had won, there was a game where we drew with Kryvbas. If we had won that, we would have won the title. So it's fine margins, and hopefully this season, with a little bit of experience in our back four, we will be able to push on. Rosic now. Rosic! Oh, he's hit the fucking bar. And a bit of a scramble there. Some excellent play from Kryvbas to manage to keep the ball out. But it remains 1-0. Krikos now, they're coming forward again, breaking. Hermans, ball through to Keita, but Georgian Mick clears. He's a beast. Georgian Mick was another player who was getting some interest. I think Premier League teams were interested in for a paltry £2 million. They were suggesting that they might come in for. I told them that they were stupid. Rosic, lovely play until a fairly uncharacteristically tame finish. Kataju, Herbert wins the ball in the middle, nice. Oh no, but they do keep going. Hermans, Kyriakos puts the ball around the post, and we look like we're probably going to be okay now. I think the stats should show it's quite even. Yeah, we've Prochaska. Jornason puts the ball into Rosic. Ronnie Vera, the ball falls to him. He recycles it back out to Zion on the wing. And they clear for a throw in. 3 minutes left of added time. Ashkenazi to Donko to Rosic. Rosic puts the ball in the middle. Boylan's clears. Herbert, actually was beaten in the air there. Jornason has the ball, tackled. Juric takes the ball again, but again was tackled. We're very closely matched with Kryvbas, clearly. Their formation certainly does something for them, because the old one, we used to struggle to break them down, and then once we did, we would usually beat them quite easily. Oh, for crying out loud. Keep hold of the ball, lads. Prochaska, Keita, Afawi. Big Mick has the ball. Oh, he should have cleared it up there. We could have had Belanger running onto it. Would have been beautiful. Late breakaway goal. Big Mick, Jornason, Rosic. Again, slow. But we've won. Big Mick has been sensational. We've won the cup again. It was really special. We did really, really well. 8.7 he played. Delightful stuff. 1 goal. Probably the hardest Super Cup game we've had for a few years, I think. But another win. That's 5 in a row now. Most time winners, Shakhtar 25, so we only have to do that a lot more, and then we'll win. Who's the last team to win it 5 times in a row? Has anyone ever won it 5 times in a row? No one has ever won that cup 5 times in a row. That means we're the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kryvbas. For some reason, that one was played in Lviv. It used to be played in this stadium for ages. I don't no idea why particularly. But anyway, good. £33,000. Lviv delighted. We win the Super Cup again for the 5th consecutive time. Kryvbas defeat because they're rubbish. Lviv lift Ukrainian Cup. Nicely done. We were carved open a number of times. Was that true? Ashkenazi did well on his debut. I don't really like saying his name, Ashkenazi. Maybe it'll be easier. No one wants to loan any of my players. He is interesting other teams though. Right, so let's go through. We'll play Shakhtar. I wonder if we're playing at home. I didn't even check. But so blasé now. We just win stuff so much that it's just like, yeah, well, it's just another Super Cup. Whatever, bro. Ben Wheatland and Daniel Rosic, the only 2 legends at the club. It's only been the club's. Oh, it is away at Shakhtar. I think we beat them away last year. Now then, let's see. Are we going to get any offers for the boy? No. Richard Lloyd, Dickie Lloyd. He's useless. So they bought him for 500k. Yeah, he's rubbish. He'll do well against Stala Scree or whatever they're called. Yeah, we had a new club has been promoted to the Premier League, a team that we haven't yet seen before in the Premier League. We played them back in the First Division days, but they are called Scala Stree, I think they're called. Scala Stree. I'll show you in a second. Anyway, I strongly suspect they'll be one of those teams that don't win any games at all. I was saying, I think in the last video, that it had happened a few years ago, but it's actually been the last 2 years the team in bottom place has not scored a single victory in the league. Ooh, who am I chasing? Salguero, centre-back. I don't need any more centre-backs. He is good, though. Why is it not like some amazing midfielder that you're offering me? Okay, so I've made some offers. Let's have a look. 4.4 million. Yeah, got him. Have him, lads. How much should we sign him for? 1.3. Take it. I will take it. Yeah, I was going to show you the league table. Scala Stree are the team that have come up this season. Stal last season only got 5 points. They did slightly better in terms of goal scoring. They scored 10 more goals than Arsenal the year before, who only got 9. 3 points. I think 3 points is the low. There was someone there with 4 before that. 16. See, they used to do quite well, those teams that would come up, and then it's slowly just in the last few years, 17, 16, 21, 17, 23, 13, 4, and that's because Sevastopol only got 1 win. 3, 5. So we need some better some better input from those crappy teams coming up to the league, because they do kind of make it feel a little bit pointless when you play them. Although I think one of those years we were one of the points they took. One of those teams took. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Shakhtar are favourites. I'm hoping. Break went well. Preparation's complete. Early fixtures. I have regular team in mind. Confident we can handle the rigours of the modern game. Shakhtar are confident they know how to play. Yes. Daniel Rosic is crucial to the team. I'm not interested. It will be... what should I say? Should I say us? Yeah, go on. Confident of a good start. Now let's just see something. Where was it? Not that. Training. Oh, tactics. Yeah, so it hasn't changed that either. I had updated something. Alright, well, whatever. Why are these two unregistered? Huh. There should be no reason that they are not able to play. Musa Kurt played the entire last season. Oh, this game is sometimes a bit of a confusion. Let's just look at that squad again. Tactics. Why are you unregistered? Needs to be registered to play in the next... For fuck's sake. Squad registration. Oh, it's because they used to be under 21s. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. That should fix that. I think they were unticked last year, and therefore needed to be ticked again. Okay, right, and we've got Borovkov, who is homegrown. Good. Okay. The Stadio Olimpico will be the Champions League Group C. Zykov Park is always mentioned as a team, as a club that tries to, but never gets there, and they've been going for that one as well. Zykov Park, you fools. So our youth team beat Shakhtar's youth team 5-1. I'd be surprised if we win 5-1, but Planinsek is a player I'm hoping we can mould into a really good first team player this year. He did just unfortunately have quite a bad injury. Any interesting teams? Lokomotiv, Plovdiv. Are there any Polish teams? I want to see how Poland gets on. When do our Ukrainian boys join? When do our Ukrainian teams... Well, they're not in the league. They're not in the groups yet, so they must be next round. I remember watching a guy on YouTube who tried to do a Gibraltar thing. Like, he ended up making this Gibraltarian team the best in the world, but part of the struggle for the first something like 30 years of his save was that his teams had such low reputation that he couldn't get any good players, and then once he started to sort of get better, the rest of his league would start to he would sort of increase the UEFA coefficient, but his teams in his league were terrible, so he used to sell all of his sort of offshoot players to teams in his league. So eventually he sort of dragged the rest of the team up, rest of the league up to his standard, or at least to a sort of standard of good enough to compete in the Champions League and stuff like that, which was, I thought, it was a very interesting video. Guy called Work the Space, if you're interested. But that I do not have the patience for. I definitely do not have the patience for recording videos for 60 seasons just with one team. Although I think he only did 1 or 2 a season once they got to the Champions League positions, basically, which I'm thinking I might start doing for Lviv to try and charge through these things, because there's nothing that interesting about random... Oh, stop. Hang on, stop. Gaston Fernandez, who's he? Is he in the under-21s? Oh, yeah, go on and have him. No, you can't have him. Yeah, so we'll see. I really don't know. I want to win the Champions League with this team. I think it would be fun. I want to win European competition, and I want to make us dominant in the league. It takes a little while to get to that position, especially because we have this stupid Kryvbas with money. Speaking of teams with money, the Dnipropetrovsk, they were a money team, it turns out. I didn't realise. And last season, right at the end, their boss or not their boss, but their sugar daddy took his funding out of the club. So we have one less team with lots of money to worry about. Hopefully that will mean that it will be a bit easier for us to push on up. They've got a couple of players making their debut. Lau, who's he? He's on loan, he's pretty good. Branko Gajdek, what on earth is he? He's a striker and centre-back. Classic. Well, anyway, okay, let's go. I don't think they should be too much to worry about. They always spend loads of money every year. Like, they're constantly one of those teams that has a sort of they've spent £12 million this summer and last summer, or a net spend of that much money, and yet they've been sort of falling backwards a bit in the last couple of years. Big Mick, his ball goes up. Dimba has the ball now. Dimba, by the way, playing because I saw Belanger was a little bit tired. Dimba's pretty good. He scored quite a few goals in pre-season. And the hope is that he can develop as well alongside Planinsek into the next generation of strikers. They'll neither of them be as good as they'll neither of them be as good as Rosic, but they might end up being good enough to challenge Belanger for the second spot. Jónasson. Rosic scores his first goal of the season. That was easy, wasn't it? Shakhtar couldn't have wished for a worse start. Lovely stuff. Dnipro, despite being out of money, are now winning. Need to see how Stala get on. Who was the other promoted team? Metalurg Donetsk. They're playing Kryvbas, so they're very likely to be battered. Not a hard start to their defence for Kryvbas, although we have a much more challenging start to the season. Henrad's effort just palmed away there. Romanenko tries to clear. Henderson does indeed clear, but only as far as a throw-in for us on the right. 9 minutes gone, we are winning 1-0 in our fancy blue kit. Henrad goes for goal again, didn't need to, could have given it back to Pandagotu, but he does what he wants. Romanenko. Speaking of doing what they want, Borovkov in pre-season scored a 40-yarder. He just came to about here and was like, yeah, fuck it, bang. And it was an absolute beast. There you go. Henra puts the ball in the middle. Musa Kurt. Oh, Lau clears off the line. Their new signing making his debut. Important intervention there. Rosic tries to get on the ball, doesn't, and everyone leaves Bravo to just run onto the ball and try to launch a counter-attack. But Pandagotu's back. Lovely stuff. Hopefully Pandagotu can play a little bit more for us this season. I realise that he's a bit slow, so I've been trying to train him on his quickness. Oh, it's a great ball through. Rosic holds off Sanchez. Dimba takes the ball. Turi saves. It makes it out for a corner. Yeah, I noticed that Pandagotu is actually a bit slow. Henra puts the ball in the middle. Big Mick, come on. So I've been training on his quickness. Hopefully that can make him a little bit more effective on the right wing. He plays really well, and his crossing is absolutely sensational. But the problem, I guess, is that he's a little slow and therefore unable to always get into good crossing positions. Maya makes a nice save. I think this is Maya's league debut for Lviv. Now then, the ball comes in from Bravo, cleared by Big Mick. He's been sensational so far this season. 2 games, he's been playing very well. Musaka heads clear, only as far as Jónasson on the edge of the box. Lau tackles, but Lau, his effort was well wide. Okay, Ryabakon. My attempt to sign Ukrainian players, by the way, was very much thwarted by the fact that no Ukrainian players are any good. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. The quality of youth players being produced is just so poor. Very similar to how it was in Poland when we were Śląsk manager, and eventually even the very average ones don't end up being very good. Even the very average ones end up being sort of the best ones that exist. And I guess it's because all the other clubs are really bad. Because Ukraine must have a fairly decent rating for regens, because they always do have a decent team in real life. It seems strange that they would be low rated. But where do the players come through? I mean, they come through at Shakhtar, but then Shakhtar don't give them an opportunity to actually play. They won't sign for me yet. Maybe once we increase our reputation a bit more. Speaking of reputation, to interrupt myself, as I usually do. Rosic now goes around Sanchez with ease. Rosic, second goal of the game for Rosic, a magnificent goal, and we are 2-0 up. Let's just check. Kryvbas must be battering Metalurg by now. They are 1-0 up, and Stria losing as well. Speaking of reputation, we won the Cup last year. We came off the back of winning the league 3 times in a row to, okay, we came second in the league. And we got to the Champions League round of 16. And our reputation within Ukraine dropped. We went below Metalist, who finished 10th. I don't understand. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be as big as Shakhtar for a number of years, considering, as we saw, they've won most of the Cups about 30 times, and we've only won 3, 4, 5 times. But for God's sake, I mean, like, we're better than Metalist, for crying out loud. Anyway, if we win the league, I think that will change. We're also, for the first time ever, on the rich list. The rich list is the 100 top richest clubs. We were 97th, I think. And you know, I don't know if we'll have actually increased that standing, considering, oh no, we did sell a couple of players for a bit of money, so maybe we will. But who knows? Anyway, Le Point to be, oh, great ball. Rosic doesn't quite get there. Jonassen does, and the ball's gone out from a nice tackle for a throw. They've gone 5-3-2 in an attempt to change the game. Interesting formation. They can't try. I mean, how the hell do you... Yeah. They went from, what was it, 4-5-1, I think they were playing initially. Juric clears, Gajdek gets the ball into Lau. Big Mick goes right through him, and for some reason Kamara decides the best idea was to give them a corner. Carrefour, Henrad clears, and they're going to have another throw-in. They've actually, I would argue, they've probably been the better side. They've definitely been dominant in terms of possession. I think if we were to check, I just don't want to do it right now. Possession, they've definitely had more possession. They've had a similar amount of shots. They've looked, I mean, I would say most of the replays have been for them. Most of the highlights have been their highlights. Oh, God, get it out. Matthias hits over the bar. 57 minutes gone. This change has done something to them, and they seem to have been enlivened by it. I'm going to bring on Belanger for Dimba. And could we suggest that maybe that will be a good idea? Let's see. 57 minutes gone. Classic Wheatland triple sub. Hasn't been made yet. Jonassen to Dimba. Dimba, probably his last highlight before he gets hooked. There we go. Dimba. Oh, he's doing beautiful stuff. He nearly scored an absolutely stunning goal, and I think Jonassen should have done better with the rebound. Dimba, lovely stuff. A good young player. I think he'll end up being a nice little sort of rotational player. Big Mick, Nyarko, Shakhtar on his debut. Not the finished product, but certainly good enough to make an impact at this level. Juric now to Belanger. Belanger to Vera. Vera could have played a nice little triangle pass through to the young lad. Oh, the ball's in the middle. Rosic, surely. Oh, Shakhtar has scored within about a minute of coming on. A goal on his debut. Lovely stuff. With 3-0 up away at Shakhtar. Arsenal Kiev are top. Who are they playing? Odessa, absolutely battering them. Their striker Derkach scores a hat-trick. Scalistri 3-0 down, of course. Kryvbas only winning 1-0 at Metalurg, but they didn't win any games very much last year. They didn't win very many games. Let me try both of those sentences again. They didn't try... Oh, fucking hell. They didn't win very many games by a big scoreline last year. There were a lot of 1-0s and 2-0s in their repertoire. Ball comes in. Rosic heads over. Rosic wins a header from a corner. Absolutely unreal. Heads over, though, because he's not good at heading. But yeah, so it's maybe not a surprise that they're not absolutely battering. Oh, God. I mean, Shakhtar are slightly falling apart here. The change initially looked like it had done something good for them, but since we scored that third, they seem a little shaky. Yeah, we're starting to turn the screw a little bit in terms of the stats, at least. Juric has injured one of their players. Nyarko to Henderson. Henderson to Carrefour. Matthias' shot deflected, blocked. Pandagotu up to Rosic. Rosic now tries to run past Gajdek, but was tackled. Sanchez on the ball. Big boot up the pitch. only as far as our left back. Belanja has it. Rosic for a hat-trick. Rosic has his hat-trick. Belanja's effort tipped into his path. Rosic just about manages to turn it home, and that is 4-0. They've in fact had a man, not just a man off. Not just a man off injured. He's actually gone off. It's a shame. Arsenal are now 4-2 up. They've gone 2-3. What was that? 5-3-2. How's that? Oh, because the removed player must be. Rosic has got a fourth. We are 5-0 up against Shakhtar. Unbelievable. Kryvbas have had a man off, and it is their man Torre. Could we see a late equaliser for Metalurg? Would be nice. Nothing else particularly interesting is going on anywhere else. We are beating Shakhtar 5-0. What a statement of intent this is. We must be top of the league, say we are. Oh, well, they've gone. Yeah, they've gone back to. What the hell is that? 5-3-2. How is that 5? Rosic has scored 5. Rosic has scored 5, and we are 6-0 up against Shakhtar Donetsk. Things are falling apart for them. Alexandria are now second. They're playing Stala Stri. Vera into Rosic. Rosic with a 5th goal in this game against Shakhtar Donetsk. What a start to the season. He's having. They are moving their formation around like mad. Rosic now with the opportunity to get an assist, and he does. Belanja scores. It's 7-0. Unbelievable scenes here at the Donbass Arena. 7-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk. Away against Shakhtar Donetsk. Rosic with 5 goals and an assist, at least 1 assist. He might have even assisted another one. But that is just disgusting. Kryvbas have doubled their lead against Metalurg, which is a shame. But certainly we're winning the goal difference war at the moment. Flippin' heck. He got a 10 rating, and that's fair enough. 5 goals, 1 assist. Belanja came on, got 2 assists and a goal. Shakhtar scored. We got an assist for Pandagotu, 1 for Torde Jonassen. And yeah, a good win, boys. Considering they were the favourites, I must admit that I personally had this one down as a draw. Yeah, it was very close. We just dominated. Once they had their man off for injury, I think we completely destroyed them. That's ridiculous. It really is. Any other interesting results? Not really. We were already discussing them. St. Bernard, the player that we sold to Chona Moretz, scores an own goal to set Karpati on to a winning start for their season. Fair enough. Anyone else? Poor old Stalistri got battered by Alexandria. It doesn't look like it's going to be a successful season for them. Metalurg, on the other hand, did okay against Kryvbas, considering Kryvbas are surely the favourites for the title. 7th heaven for Lviv. Shakhtar's fans were left stupefied by their team slumped to a miserable defeat. 7-0. Unbelievable. Rosic had his 81 and then 83. Absolute beast. And then Belanja got a goal as well. Lovely stuff. Rosic in top form. Yum, 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 yum. His average rating for the season is 8.4. And he made his debut with nearly an 8 rating. Excellent stuff. Rosic in top form. Fans jubilant. They liked Santiago Maya. That's nice because that was, I think, his debut. It was a very proud moment. Daniel was outstanding. Don't want to rush him. Yep. Never stop looking for ways to improve the team. Okay, well, that's been a pretty banging first video for this season. A Super Cup win, meaning that trophy is basically ours to keep now, and then a Shakhtar Donetsk demolition, and that's good. So we will probably... I'll play until there'll be the next game will be something Europe related. I'll play, and maybe it will be the qualifiers. Maybe we get to play like an interesting team or something like that. If not, we will be back with you sometime in the group stages to see how that goes. It might even be at the end of the group stages, depending on how easy our draw is, because I think our rating won't have gone up very much, but we should still be able to go through those groups a little easier because it's the Europa League. So we'll see. I'll be back, and I'm not sure exactly when, but probably around sort of within this period here. So see you in the next one, guys. Bye.